Hello everyone, it's Josh Verlin from Philahoops, sitting here with Mike Jensen of the Philadelphia Inquirer after the Temple Owls lost in the first round of the Atlantic 10 tournament, falling to UMass 77-71. Mike, it's the second time in 10 days these teams have played each other. What was so different the first time around, second time around?
Well, I didn't see the first time around, so I just got to go with the second time around. And the first 5 minutes of the second half obviously killed them. You could end 15-0, 17-0 run going back to the end of the first half. That's tough to overcome, especially when you're committing 22 turnovers for the game.
That's true. And Chaz Williams, his second consecutive good game against Temple, really quick, 5'9" guard. What makes him so effective?
Well, I mean, he's doing all sorts of things. I mean, he's making his teammates go. I mean, he's got great court awareness, and he's just quick, and he's tough too. He's a tough guard. I mean, he's the whole package for a little guy. And honestly, in some ways, does it expose the perimeter defense of Temple a little bit?
Maybe. They certainly lack that quickness out there. They got the size, they just don't have that speed that Williams presents. That big run in the second half, Temple manages to come back, and then UMass gets the momentum. What happened there? I mean, Temple, this is a team that should win this tournament. Now they're out in the first round. Well,
and they got back in the game. They did a great job, and then they were trading shots. They didn't get stops. That's what I think happened. They kept scoring baskets after they got into it, but then eventually they had some key turnovers, and again it comes back to the defense. And believe me, I love Temple in the tournament. I mean, I think they got the whole thing. If Michael Eric can stay out of foul trouble and stay in the game, they're really tough. But I think questionable perimeter defense and not taking care of the ball, that's not going to get to you too far in March.
You mentioned the NCAA tournament. Temple is a lock. I mean, there's no question
Absolutely,
that they're going to make it. But where do you see them seeding-wise, and do you still see them as a potential Sweet 16 team?
Yeah, I mean, there's no question there's potential. And even in the Sweet 16, I think they'd be a really tough out. So, I mean, they probably lost a seed line, I would guess. I mean, if they were a 4, maybe they're a 5. I haven't paid that close attention to right at that spot to see where they are. I've been looking more at the bubble than looking what could happen with Temple and those teams. But and those things, the difference between a 4 and a 5, what's the difference? If you end up playing a 4 or a 5, playing a 4 instead of a 5, I'm not sure that that was a huge factor for them. Honestly, at that point, if you're a 4 or a 5, then you're going to catch a 1 in the Sweet 16 either way, and you're going to have a tough matchup.
So you could end up actually benefiting from being a little bit of a lower seed.
You could drop back to a 6. That's exactly right. You get a little tougher second round game, and then potentially an easier game. Because I mean, obviously, in March you don't want to see Kentucky, you don't want to see Syracuse, and then after that, they've shown whatever seed Duke is, well, they can play with that level of team.
Exactly, and that Duke win is going to give them a huge amount of confidence. You mentioned the bubble. Is this going to affect Drexel in any way?
My thing with Drexel is I don't think they're one of these first 4, last 4. I think the committee has to take a stand on Drexel. They either have to decide Drexel's a tournament team or they're not. There are spots available, and Drexel has done what they have done. So I can't believe that they are comparing Drexel's resume at a late time with the other bubble teams. I think they've decided either they are in. Now, the only caveat on that is they could have decided they're out, and as all these, Northwestern loses, Washington loses, all these bubble teams lose, then they decide, no, we had them in the secondary category. Now they're in. But I think we'll hear their name on Sunday. That's my thought.
Great, Mike. Thanks so much for sitting down with us. And unfortunately, Temple will not be sticking around for the rest of the weekend, but I know we'll be here catching some exciting basketball.
We'll be around.
Have a good one, everybody.
Thanks for having me, Josh.